Hey, it's Gary Carisco again from RebootAuthentic.com, answering the third question Mary had sent me from the A-List group. And that question is, what advice would you give to other new bloggers like you to get faster traction like you have? What are the main things that have made a difference? Um, that's a good question. And actually, I get that one fairly often via email. So I've had some time to think about it. Having had a blog that went nowhere and now having one that's doing pretty well, there's some things that really stand out that I guess I would attribute a lot of the traction to. And it's the first one, something I say all the time, get an education. You can't fake it until you make it. I don't care how smart you are. If you don't know what you're doing, the problem is that the learning curve is so steep that it's hard to get off to a quick start. Learning by trial and error takes a long time, and certain things, who knows, you may never figure out. So prior to my launch of Reboot Authentic, my new blog, I enrolled in Corbett Barr's Start a Blog That Matters and in Mary Yak's A-List blogging, and they made all the difference in the world for me. I mean, I still consult those things often. So my launch really was taken straight out of the brains of Corbett and Mary and kind of put together, and that's what I formed my launch on. It went very well. And later on, I joined Danny Inney's audience building masterclass. I'm still going through that. But all that to say, go learn from the best. There's a cost involved, of course, but in terms of what you can achieve with what you learn, it's a no-brainer. It's a great plan. Get yourself an education, number one. The second thing is, by the time I launched my second blog, I had a group of people I refer to as my brain trust, and I would say number two is form a brain trust. I had hooked up with a group of people through social networking, groups I had joined, whatever. And the value of that is nobody makes it in any walk of life alone, not completely alone. You need support, you need feedback, you need constructive criticism and all that. But most importantly, you need a fresh perspective. You're you all day. You see out of your eyes all day long, and it's very hard to see yourself in your own situation the way that others do. You can try, but you can't see that 30,000-foot view. And like I said, I've got a group of bloggers I wound up with who range from A-listers to brand new people, but they're all people who I trust, whose opinions I value, and they're always there for me to run things by. And you can't put a price on that. In fact, I would even say that you absolutely need that. So form a brain trust, get an education. Third thing is read all the time. I constantly consume content. I subscribe to the best blogs in markets and my market and other markets that overlap. I would advise you to set up Google alerts for topics that you write about. Read books, seek and collect information wherever and whenever you can. These things all give you new ideas. They give you new perspectives and new ideas of things that you can do as well. So read all the time. Also write daily. And it's been on 1,000 blog posts. Maybe it's cliche, but it's very true. You can't become good at anything unless you practice it an awful lot. I mean, write every day. And if I'll stop you if you're one of the I don't have the time people, because if you want to write, then you're right. You have early in the morning, late at night, on the bus, in the cab, at lunchtime. It doesn't have to be a full post. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece or anything like that. Just write, because it's good practice and it will spawn new ideas. Also, posting consistently is a big deal. At this point that I'm in now at my blog, I post on my own blog maybe once a week, not daily. Once a week, maybe a little more often. And I run an active guest posting campaign as well. However you structure it, the point is you need to be seen regularly out there. I might add, you need to be seen in a positive light regularly. So just throwing up I was going to say something else. Let's say half-hearted posts to fill space doesn't count. So, post regularly, post good stuff regularly. Also, participate. You hear this a lot too, but it's true. Answer every comment thoughtfully on your own posts and on your guest posts as well. Comment on other blogs. Be active in social networks. Be seen out there. Being supportive and offering value and not just broadcasting your own messages. The next point I would say is be sincere and real. And this is my personal pet peeve online. Maybe it's why I started a blog called Reboot Authentic. But there's enough salesy, phony, fluffy crap out there. We've all seen it. There's enough shock value kind of stuff out there. In fact, there's so much of this stuff that it kind of fades into the background like wallpaper to where I don't even notice it so much anymore. So my advice would be yourself, and would be to be yourself and be sincere with people. Don't just copy what you think is happening out there on your blog or on Twitter or anywhere else. Uh, Offer to help people instead of blasting messages about yourself. Try asking somebody individually about their life or what's going on with them. You'd be shocked. They love it. And it's a little sad to see how surprised they are that somebody gave a crap and asked them about their own life. I guarantee at least once a week somebody sends me an email about that very thing because I engage people on a one-to-one basis. And true, you can't do that with everyone, but I would say the evidence shows me that that's the exception rather than the rule anymore, and that's really too bad. But be sincere and real. I think that gets you pretty far. And along with that, I would say write plainly. I'm a big fan of people who write the way they speak. It feels like a personal conversation and it connects with people. I was an English major and I violate so many rules of proper English, it's not even funny. Maybe it is to some people, but the point is, the readers really don't want to see how much you know about sentence structure or how vast your vocabulary is. Really, what they want to see is how you communicate information that can be useful to them. So my advice would be to write as if you're in a coffee shop or a bar sitting across from that reader, just talking about your topic. So the things I think have gotten me more traction, this early, that I think will help just about anybody, to recap, are get an education, form a brain trust, read all the time, write daily, post consistently, participate, be sincere and real, and write plainly. And I hope that was a good answer to your question. Thanks for asking.